Hi, everyone. Somebody asked me recently, what is it to live a soul-centered life? And one of the things that I love to witness, that I feel is the orchestration of my soul, is what I've heard referred to as the spirituality of synchronicity. I think that when we are living from our hearts, from our soul, in that way, that we're not living from the mental constructs of our personality or the cultural constructs of what we think we should be or should be doing. But we're living from our hearts. We're living from a place where we're trusting the guidance, we're trusting the direction, we're trusting what the heart is directing us towards. And it's a kind of radical way of living. And I'd like to share just a little story from my own life that feels like one of those places where I see my soul reflecting back to me in a way that validates trusting my heart. And it's through this idea, the spirituality of synchronicity. So I was a teacher at a school, yoga school here, and the time had come for me to end my teaching position at that school. And I was really sad. It was very hard. It was actually not really what I wanted, but it felt like it was like my heart was just saying, you gotta do this. Like, you don't know what's coming next. Who knows what'll come in this place, but you've gotta trust yourself and you've gotta go for it. So I went through the process of letting go of my position there. And prior to letting go of my position, I had been at this school since the beginning of the pandemic. And at the time that we all, came home to teach on Zoom, I was asked to take this little plant home. And the plant fit perfectly in this awesome little container that my mom had given me. Isn't that cool? And I tended to this plant in this container for, a year. I guess it was about a year. And then I go through this process of heartbreakingly identifying that I need to let go of my position at that school, and going through the process of letting go of my classes. And on the last day, one of my students brought me a plant. And I had brought the plant that was in this container back to the school. And I thought, oh my God, I love that plant in that container so much. And I'm gonna have to get something that replaces it. So on that last day, one of my students brought this plant that just happens to fit perfectly into this container. So for me, that is an example, isn't that cute, of the spirituality of synchronicity. I was trusting my heart, and in trusting my heart, I had to experience a loss. And going through that loss, I was gifted this beautiful plant, and it just happened to fit into the same container of the plant that I had been caring for from that same studio. And I think that this is what happens. I think this is one of the ways that the soul reflects back to us our own choices. And there were a lot of things that validated that choice, but nothing more than this. To me, this was just like, okay, I'm on the right path. So I invite you to notice and listen and watch for those moments when your life is reflecting back the choices that you've made and encouraging you down the path that you have engaged with, that's sometimes radical when we choose that path from our hearts. So, thanks everyone.